The following program is a Town of Colonie television production of the William K. Sanford Town Library.
Welcome to Getting to Know You. My name is Joe Nash. Today we are talking to Debby Goedeke. She is the manager of the Albany County Convention and Visitors Bureau, but today she's here to speak about her other job, which seems to be taking up just as much time, she was just telling me. She's the Albany Film Commissioner. So welcome back, Deb.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe.
So before we talk about
Sure.
movies that have been filmed here,
Sure.
are currently being filmed here and may be filmed here, what is the Albany Film Commissioner? What kind of job is that? What is it you do?
Really, it sounds impressive, but I'm just the worker bee.
I see.
I provide the services and the resources for the film companies when they come in and out of Albany County. So that really is what I do.
I see. And then you were telling me October, we're filming this a little bit after Thanksgiving, October was very busy in the...
It was.
So what was going on?
It was. Well, we had...
I didn't see any movies being filmed, but...
They were here.
Okay,
they were here. We had Derailed, which was a small indie film that was filmed here in the Capital Region. They started filming that around the middle of September.
And was it called Derailed?
It was called Derailed,
Okay.
and it was a thriller.
Okay.
Again, a small indie film that finished up around the beginning of October, into the middle of October, and then The Pretenders started, which started around the end of September, the beginning of October, and they filmed right up into the middle of October.
And then...
The end of October.
James Franco was directing?
Yes, he was.
And what was the storyline of that?
It was called The Pretenders. It's actually about 3 college students that went to college together and then meet up again, and how their lives kind of intertwine with all that.
Now, did you have any part in getting those movies to come here?
Well, I think part of it...
Or they contact you?
Well, they contact me, but I like to think that it is because of our reputation here in upstate New York that we make it very easy for a film production to come here.
And do you know where they filmed? And do you know?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Do you get to go down to the set and all that?
Yes, I do.
Well, I guess as commissioner you would. Right?
Well, only because I want to make sure that they're happy with everything.
So,
really, my job is to make sure they're happy with everything.
So what kind of locations around the capital?
Well, they actually filmed in 3 counties, Albany, Rensselaer, and Schenectady.
Okay.
They started at Russell Sage College. They needed a college dorm.
Okay.
So they started at Russell Sage College. So my counterpart in Rensselaer County is Chris Golden. So she worked with them on getting them a location at Russell Sage College, which they worked quite a bit. And then from there, they actually filmed at Cohoes Music Hall.
Oh.
And they filmed at the Palace in downtown Albany. They filmed on Pearl Street in downtown Albany. They filmed at an apartment on Pearl Street in downtown Albany. Chris Pratt, one of the business owners in downtown Albany, who also owns the Pearl Street Pub, made one of his apartments available. They filmed at Jonathan's Pizza.
All right.
They filmed at the Scotia Cinema in Scotia, so there were quite a few locations.
Now, was this movie, did it take place in current times, or was it supposed to be in the past?
In the 70s.
Oh, okay. So
yep.
Did they have to do anything to make it look like the 70s?
Oh, yeah. They had picture cars.
They
had picture cars, and then all of the extras that were in the film were dressed like they were in the 70s.
So when they film a movie like that here, do they only do parts of it here, or do they do the whole movie here?
Well, it depends. Some of them, I want to say Derailed, most of it was filmed here in the Capital Region, but with The Pretenders, they did a couple weeks up here in the Capital Region, and then they were headed down to New York City. They were going to do a couple weeks there, and then I think they were going to do a week out in LA as well.
Okay. Now, when these movies, sometimes if I know my movie making, I'm not sure, but when they need like a sound stage or something, is there anything like that in our area that you can use?
Yes, absolutely. There's actually, right now, there's 2 qualified production facilities that have, that you can build a sound stage in. The first is the Armory off of New Scotland Avenue, Russell Sage Armory. It's now part of Russell Sage College. It used to be the National Guard Armory facility.
So that, I know what you mean.
Yep.
So there's a sound stage in there?
Yeah, they can actually go in and build
Yeah,
a
yeah.
set and make it, have a sound stage
Okay.
there and get tax credits.
Yeah, okay.
That's one of the also big draws here to upstate
Okay.
New York are those tax credits.
So, and where's the other sound stage?
Times Union Center.
Oh, okay.
The Times Union Center has actually had some films done in there, some scenes shot in there, so that again, those companies can garner the tax credits.
All right. So how, and what is this? I guess the having a movie made in our area, there's a big sort of economic impact for not just the people.
Definitely.
Not just the people filming, but
Right.
for everyone who lives here.
Right.
Could you talk about both aspects of that?
Absolutely, I can. First of all, locally, and I wrote everything down so I don't forget, they used a local casting company. Most of the crew was local. They had 3 location managers. They were all local. Catering and craft services, feeding them was local. Again, using all of those locations that we spoke about, they were local.
So do they pay like sort of?
They pay a location fee.
Really?
Yes, the
Okay.
location manager negotiates that location fee. The police department, Albany Police
Yeah.
Department, which I can never say enough good things about, who actually helped make all of this happen. The traffic engineering department, they actually stayed out on Wolf Road, which I don't think anybody really knew about. So they had almost 1,000 sleeping room nights out on Wolf Road.
I see.
So all of that adds up to quite
So-
a good dollar.
For even though these are small movies, and as we think, how many people would come to town with this? It sounds like it's like to be.
Oh my
hundreds.
gosh, yeah, I want to say at least 125.
Really?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yes, because they used 2 hotels out on Wolf Road.
Really? Okay. So was there, what else, was that all that was October? Was there something else filmed over the summer or anything? Or?
No, mostly commercial productions I've been working with, but those were, the Pretenders was probably the biggest one that we had in 2016.
Now, what do you mean a commercial?
Just a car commercial.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
just a car commercial.
even a lot of those go through your office?
Sure,
Oh,
sure.
okay.
They'll call and reach out. Can they film at the Empire State Plaza or on the concourse of the plaza? So then again, really my job is to connect that person with the person at the Office of General Services that can make that call.
So I know you do a lot for your job as the film commissioner here. How do you promote Albany? I mean, besides probably answering 1 million phone calls, you go out to show. Tell me about some of the things.
Well, in the month of October, to back up a little bit, we worked very closely with the Governor's Film Office down in New York City of motion picture and television development. Governor Cuomo was a very big advocate of having films done here in New York State. So the Governor's Film Office had reached out to us and said that they were going to set up a Skype call with the Motion Picture Association of America executives out in Los Angeles, and we had 5 minutes to give a pitch
For why?
for Albany, why they should come and film in Albany.
For any kind of movie.
Any kind of movie, why they should come and film in Albany. So it was myself and 5 other film commissions around New York State that wanted to be part of that Skype call.
Now, did you each get 5 minutes?
Can you imagine 5 minutes to promote yourself?
Well, I thought you were going to say that you had 5 minutes for the whole state, but you actually got 5 minutes.
I had 5 minutes
right.
just for Albany.
Well, one of the things we talked about, I think the last time you were here, if you go to the website for the Albany Film Office, it says location, location, location. There's all
Exactly.
kinds of, for almost any kind of movie, if you want to if you take the greater, like his historical, we'll talk about some of these locations, what you have here.
Well, I mean, the Palace Theater and Cahos Music Hall doubled as a French theater in Paris. So the streets on North Pearl Street doubled as New York City streets and apartments. The interesting thing about working with movies and productions is that they really do work their movie magic in making everything seem like it is someplace else.
Yeah, and don't they use you got some colleges, you got a lot of
Russell
outdoor,
Sage College, definitely.
Are there any like outdoor facilities or outdoor things they use, or do you know?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I know they love our highways.
Oh, for action scenes?
Yes, yes, 787, that little inner loop in downtown, they like that a lot.
Okay, so how did the Skype call go? Tell me what.
Well, the Skype call went great. I just thought I have to do something different to market Albany, and what can I do? So I actually put together a little rap song to New York, New York. I'm promoting Albany.
Oh, okay.
Start spreading the news. You're leaving LA. You're going to make a new start of it in Albany, New York.
All right.
So it went over very well.
Oh, good. And do you know how many producers were watching?
Yes, there were 30. There were 30 people in the room. Wow. There were 30 people in the room. And then we also, again, there's a new initiative that's been started here in the Capital Region. It's called Film Upstate New York.
Oh, okay.
And it's 5 or 6 counties and also arts organizations that have come together to pool their services and resources to promote not just Albany, but the Capital Region and to work together.
It's all our area, more or less. And then you guys, you went to
We did a trade show.
So what was that?
We did a trade show down in New York City called Produced By. It's the Producers Guild. And so there were about 700 attendees, decision makers of people that are looking for locations and regions to produce and shoot their films in.
And 700
attendees.
Oh, okay. And were many of them like from Hollywood and all that? Or?
Well, I think a lot of them were from the East Coast.
Okay.
But I think some of them, they also do that show out in LA. It's called Produced By in LA, and then it's produced by New York City. So both of the coasts.
Now, you've been talking about movies. Does any of this apply to television shows too, or is it all movie?
Well, I did have a television show, Come and Look at Albany. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Brain Dead, but it's a television series that is on television. They actually did come and look at Albany. They looked at the education building because it mimicked a lot of the Washington courthouses. And that's another thing here that they like our courthouses because they mimic a lot of Washington and New York City. So I would love a TV series here in Albany.
They would stay here
They would stay here for weeks, weeks on end, shooting that television series.
So we have a lot of buildings that if the scene's supposed to be Washington, they can just, all right. Well, that must be kind of fun.
It is.
Do they ever tell you, we're looking for an 18th century house, or we're looking for the...
Most definitely. When they send me an email or they contact me initially, I always like to ask them, send me pictures of what it is that you're looking for. Or, do you have an idea? Or, just what's your concept? Because what I think their concept may be and what they think it may be could be two totally different things. So it's always good to get pictures.
Now, have you ever gone out on these scouting whatever you want to call them?
Well, I don't really scout per se, but when the Pretenders were here in town, I did go on set a couple times. I actually got to have a meal with them, with everybody that worked on the Pretenders. But I like to just check in and make sure that they're doing okay. Are the services that we recommended, are the people, are the resources, is that all going okay? And once they leave, not just end the process there, but how can we improve things and make things better?
So when you get all these local crew people, you what do you have, a stable of?
I have a database of crew folks. I have people that I know that I can depend on, that are professional and will do a good job. So those are the people that I want to recommend.
Now, how do you, I don't know if you have anything to do with this, but when the movie, sometimes you'll see they need extras. They need, do you have anything to do with getting extras?
Sure.
How does that work?
When the Pretenders needed some extras, we actually had a casting call at our office.
Even for just people to be like walking in the background?
Absolutely, absolutely, because they have a certain look that they're looking for. So that's where the casting company comes into play.
And how does that, you just put out, are there a lot of local, do you
Well,
usually
we put it out all over social media.
All right.
You know exactly what it is they're looking for, and then they want to come with their headshot and their resume.
Do any of these people ever get a speaking part?
I'm sure that some of them do. Yes, I'm sure that, because we have some SAG actors that are here locally.
I know, yeah. Now, what's, do you get like thousands of people responding?
No, we don't. It depends. I mean, it really depends on what it is that they're looking for. I know when Salt and the other guys were here, they did get quite a few people that responded to that. But with the Pretenders and Derailed, there weren't that many that came.
Well, maybe they just wanted to meet Brad Pitt. And
Well, yeah. Who doesn't want to meet? I'm not sure about now, though. But
Okay,
yeah,
that's right. So for the Pretenders, you said it took place in the 70s.
Yes.
So did they want people that looked like, I mean, that looked...
Well, here's the
How did that
interesting
work,
thing. When
or-
they have a casting call like that, a lot of times people will come with their headshot, but they'll be dressed like that. And the casting director, too, you know, she can see, she can envision what they might look like.
Made up.
Right.
Or whatever. Oh, I see what you're saying.
But even, and they take pictures of everybody. And then they run through that with the directors and the producers.
It is very, once you hear these kind of stories, it makes you realize how complicated filming a movie is. Just filming just filming one scene is.
It is. It totally is. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, sometimes that script is rewritten the day before that scene is going to be shot.
Okay. So what can you say about, we're filming this again after a little bit after Thanksgiving. What is upcoming, or do you know about any other possibilities, any movies upcoming?
I actually got a voicemail yesterday from a gentleman. He is down in Brooklyn, and he said, could I send him a list of my vendors that I have available here that I work with, such as my casting companies and my lighting crew and grip and all of those resources. Could I send him a list, because he was thinking about shooting a film here in the Capital Region.
And that's all you know?
That's all I know. They're kind of on a hiatus.
Oh, okay.
They're really on a hiatus right now, and then it'll heat up again in January.
But wouldn't he have to go through your office? He left me a voicemail, and I'll still call him back and work with him. One thing I did want to mention, too, which was kind of cool, the gentleman that I had worked with on HBO, Muhammad Ali, the location manager, he is actually the location manager for Orange is the New Black TV series. And so he had reached out to me a few weeks ago about filming a scene. They were doing a dream sequence in one of their television series, and they wanted to use a different jail. So he wanted to know if there was something that was available up here in Albany. So again, is that show filmed?
It's down, I believe it's filmed down in the city. Or it could be even out, part of it could be out in LA, the magic of TV. But again, one of our correctional facilities here locally worked with him and sent him pictures, and he came up and took pictures and brought it back. But in the end, they ended up filming it down in New York City.
Okay. Now, does that happen a lot? Sometimes some people will come to look, and then they don't.
Definitely. Most definitely. It's like anything else. You go in to buy a dress, and you see one that you do or you don't like.
All right. So how long have you been film commissioner?
Well, about 12 years, as long as I've been at the Bureau.
So here's my question.
Okay.
Now that you've had 12 years experience and many movies have been made here.
Sure.
What is the feedback? Like, what is it that they like about the Albany area that you've heard?
Well, here's what they like. It's a one-stop shop. And this is a good example. And I'll use the Pretenders as an example because they were just here. they come in with their locations and what they need, and so we facilitate a meeting between the police departments or the Capital District Transportation Authority or the Office of General Services or any entity that's involved with that shoot. We bring them all together at one table and we hash everything out at that time. At other cities that I'm aware of, there's pockets. They have to go to different departments, different people.
They got to have like a million meetings. With
Oh my gosh, and it's so time consuming.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I've learned with the motion picture industry is it's all about money and making it efficient.
And time, okay. So
Yes.
they like the fact that they have someone like you that can...
Well, and
smooth things.
I can call upon my community partners.
Okay, so they don't have to go to
Exactly.
visit you, then visit the police, and visit the
city
All
clerk.
right. Well,
Yes, yes.
And have you heard anything about any particular locations that they really have liked? Have any been used more than once, other than 787?
Well, the Palace Theater.
Okay.
The Palace Theater, they really like that. I mean, they like the whole vibe. From the first day that I met them, they just said, we had no idea that Albany was this cool looking.
Yeah, they use the the whole thing, the lobby, the stage. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
The inside of the palace.
Very good.
If actually they covered the marquee down there and made it something else to make it look like the movie theater that they wanted it to
Okay,
be.
all right. So I guess for a second now,
Yeah.
Is there anything else about the film as your film commission? Before we go to the convention center, anything else that I have missed about being film commissioner?
Not at all. You're very thorough.
Very
Joe.
good. Oh, thank you.
Yes.
So, as the manager of the Albany County Convention and Visitors Bureau,
Convention services.
Convention Services, can you give us a convention center update? Because
I
know.
can.
Okay, how's
I
everything
can.
going down there?
It's going great. It's going great. I actually just had a hard hat tour last week and got to see the inside of it and how it's progressing, how it's going to look on the inside, all the different opportunities that are going to be available for conventions to market their convention inside the convention center.
Okay.
Just some unique things like the stairs will have LED signs on it
Okay.
that you'll be able to promote your convention while you're there, or your sponsor to be part of. I think the winter last year was so warm and mild that they were able to complete a lot of work ahead of schedule, perhaps a little bit. Some of the first groups will be there at the beginning of March. I know they're looking at
You mean
the MAC.
groups having a convention?
Yeah, well, the MAC basketball
Oh,
tournament
okay.
is actually looking at having an event there
Okay.
at the beginning of March, and I'm working with the social studies folks. They will actually have they will be the first bona fide convention in the convention center at the end of March.
March of 2017.
Yes.
Oh, that did go up fast.
It did.
Well, is the MAC tournament here this year?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
the MAC basketball tournament is
So
back here.
they're going to have something going on.
They're going to
All
have
right.
an event inside that Capitol Center.
All right.
Lots of natural lighting. Mazzone will be doing all the catering there, so they'll have a back of the house kitchen.
So when that opens and is fully operational, it sounds pretty soon. Is one of your jobs going to be
Yes.
getting the conventions to come?
Well, I'm not in the sales end of it.
Okay.
Shannon Lasiewicz, which I think Shannon was here on the show. She's the director of sales there, so she works on bringing the business to the
Okay.
convention center. Our sales folks also work on bringing some of that business to the convention center, not to just the convention center, but to all the hotels
But
here.
you'll have something to do with.
I'll be servicing it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be working with all the groups that come in and out of the convention
Right.
center.
And you're still going to be the Albany Film Commissioner?
Absolutely.
You're going to be busy.
I have a lot of energy. Bring it on.
You do. I should tell people that Debbie runs triathlons, so that's where you get your energy from. So that sounds like there's a lot going on in Albany, both at the convention center and the film, and I don't know. I think we are almost out of time. I don't know if I've forgotten anything.
You haven't forgotten
All right.
anything.
Very good. So we will see you next time on Getting to Know You.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe.
Sure.